What's up, loves? It's your girl London. And if you want to see how I did this cut crease glitter lid, keep watching. Alright, loves, I'm starting with a clean face and I'm using my spray primer by e.l.f. that I love using, and I'm just going to saturate her face and allow her face to set while I work on her brows and her eyes. With my brush, I'm going to go ahead and just dot that in, and this is actually the same brush I'll use for foundation. It's just like a flat tip brush. And I'm going to go ahead and pencil in her eyes. They actually look really, really good. I'm just going to fill in the front a little bit and just a tail on the end. Now with my small flat concealer brush, I'm going to go ahead and prime her lids, and I'm just using the LA Pro concealer. And I'm using a little bit of a brighter shade because I really want that color to pop when I start to put on the purples. Purples tend to mute out when you're putting it on darker skin. It's not quite as vibrant, so you want to make sure that the base behind it is pretty light so that it'll have the right pop that you need. Also too, I'm going to use this same concealer and put it on her upper brow. And I usually don't use a lighter concealer on the upper brow. In fact, I use one very close to skin tone. But that's how chiseled out I want these eyebrows to be. Now, don't worry, it's not going to create a halo brow because I'll go back in with the foundation and cover it. But it just, to me, it fine tunes that brow and makes it look really, really sharp. And when you're doing a glitter eye or an ombre eye or some type of cut crease where you really want those eyelids to pop, you can't have a natural eyebrow with it. It just won't look right. It'll look messy, so to speak. So you want to make certain that you carve that thing out so that it's really crisp and really sharp. And I noticed that when I use a lighter concealer, I'm able to get a more crisp line than when I do it with something more close to the natural skin tone. I'm just able to see it a lot better. So if you are good at just using something close to the regular skin color, absolutely do it. But this is just what's beneficial for me. So right now I'm setting the brow with a little bit of loose powder, and this is probably my L'Oreal. No, it's not the L'Oreal Mercier. I believe it is. I will check and see what it is and put it in the description box. Now I'm going into probably my Juvia's palette. Please forgive me, I'm not sure which one. This was a while ago. Either my Juvia palette or I might have went, I think it was. If not, it was my Morphe 23B. And I'm just covering that lid with a natural brown color because I want the transition to be very smooth as I layer these different purples. And I know it looks like I muted out completely the concealer that I put underneath, but not to worry. It's going to allow me to move that lighter brown around a lot more easier when I go to add the purple. So it's not completely muted out. So I'm going in, yeah, that is my Juvia's palette. Going in with a little bit of a deeper brown. And I'm gonna go right in the cut crease, and I do a little swirly back and forth motion. The back and forth is for me to concentrate on the specific area where I want the shadow applied, and the swirly motion is to blend it or fade it out so it's not such a harsh line. After this shade is applied, I'm gonna go in with like a deeper plum color into the crease, and this is just to be the backdrop for that cut crease. Now adding an even deeper shade, I'm gonna go directly into the crease, and I'm more so doing a lot of back and forth strokes. So you notice I'm not doing the swirly as much because I want to concentrate this color directly to the crease. I always like the crease itself to be very, very deep in color and then fade out as it gets closer to the brow. Now with my Morphe palette, I'm just going to go right into the inner corners, or excuse me, the outer corners, creating just a V shape. And I'm using a deep brown with just a tad bit of the black. I want a whole lot of black because I want the purple to be deep, but I still want it to appear to be purple. And if you're too heavy with the black, it's gonna look like just black. Now I'm going in and cutting the crease, and I'm gonna use a very small concealer brush. And this is just for the inner corners. It allows me to be a little bit more precise. And then I'll go in with my flat concealer brush and cut the crease a little wider. Now what I'm using on her actual lid is not concealer. This is like a base coat. I believe it's by NYX, and it comes in a little jar. It's usually white. You probably can see it in my left hand just a little bit there. But I love using this because it is definitely opaque and that color just sits on it. There's no fade or movement with your shadow when you're using this base. Now applying my colors, y'all please forgive me. This video is a little old. I should have had it uploaded way before now, but life happens. So no excuses. I don't know the shades that I am currently using. I'm almost positive though, this is out of my Juvia's palette. It's like this, that third color to the left right there. I'm just using that in her outer corners. I love using that. It's a very deep plum, and it has a little bit of shimmer in it, which is going to be good because it's going to go great as a base for the glitter that we're going to add later. Now usually when I am doing my shadow and I'm using more than one shade, I start with the center as opposed to the inside or the outside. But because I'm actually going to be applying glitter over top, it doesn't matter as much to me. I'm still going to make sure that I blend one shade into the other. But as far as what comes first, I'm not as concerned about if I were using just shadow versus overlaying it with glitter. Now I'm going in with my third shade, and I'm going to go into her inner corner with it. And if you notice, with each new shade, I blend back. So I blend back into the previous shade. This kind of helps to erase any lines of demarcation where you don't necessarily see where the color stops and starts. Gives you a more even blend. And you want to make certain uplift that lid if you need to, so that you can get right in there where that cut crease is. Because in this instance, we don't want that little white line showing from where the cut crease begins. Now with my glue, I'm gonna apply it in sections. This glue dries really fast, and so rather than have the glitter flake off, I'd rather just do it piece by piece. So I dab a little bit of the liquid glue, and then I go in and I dab the glitter right afterwards. A lot of the products that I'm using are her own, so for sanitation purposes, I would use other utensils, but because most of this belongs to her and she brought them to me, I could just use them right out of the bottle. Now I'm adding just a little bit of liquid liner, and we're going to create a slight little wing. Nothing too dramatic. Believe it or not, she is going to school. This is her birthday, and she just wanted something a little extra to kind of pop. So we're making certain that even though it's over the top, it's not too mature, I should say, because she's a high schooler. So we're gonna give her a little bit of a baby wing, and then we'll finish off with lashes. Now this is a little trick that I like to do when I'm using loose glitter, which in this case I am. I go back in and I layer it. So I'm going back with that same glue and I'm layering it right over her lid, over the glue and the glitter that has already set. So you want to do this while it's wet. You're going to reapply glue and then you're going to layer a little more glitter on top of that. This just keeps everything held together. It keeps it vibrant. It prevents it from flaking off or appearing thin later throughout the day. And it also helps to reinforce what you've already put into place. So I'm starting to get a little bit frantic here. It is go time. She still has to be to school. This is bright and early in the morning. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I did not dust off the glitter underneath. And so I'm just using a brush and then a little bit of a baby wipe and just cleaning underneath. And now I'm applying her foundation. As I'm applying, I'm being sure to dab this makeup in. I want to make certain that she gets good even coverage. And then I'm taking just that small flat brush and I'm cleaning up right around her brows. Now with a little glitter stick, I'm going to put a silver glitter in the inner ducts of her eyes. And then up underneath, I'm now applying her concealer. After I'm done with my damp beauty blender, I'm blending that out, and I'm blending hers out really good. I don't really want it bright because she's going to school, so if it was an evening type event, I would keep it really bright under the eyes and the forehead. But instead, I'm going to set her with a deeper shade of the midnight powder, dust that off, and then go ahead and finish up under her eyelids. Now finishing up with a little bit of bronzer, I'm going to give her just a little bit of a contour, nothing too heavy or too mature, but just enough to kind of give some shape to her face. Adding a little mascara, I did apply her lashes off camera, and this is the finished look, you guys. So what do you think? Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoyed making it. And make certain that you like and subscribe. Don't let this video end before you do so. Check that notification button so you can always be updated when I do any new looks, hair, makeup, or DIYs. And I'll be sure to have all my social media handles in the description bar below. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, bye loves.